You want massive success, then stop waiting for someone to hand it to you. Stop asking for permission. There's one rule that separates the dreamers from the doers, one rule that every powerful, unstoppable, wildly successful person lives by, and today, I'm going to give it to you. Let me tell you something. I wasn't born with a silver spoon. I had to fight for my space, my voice, my worth. But there was one decision that changed everything. One rule I made non-negotiable, and if you make it your mantra too, there's no limit to how far you'll go. This is not just motivation. This is your wake-up call. Are you ready for the one rule that can transform your entire life? Success begins the moment you decide to take full ownership of your life. No excuses, no blaming circumstances, no waiting for validation. When you own your choices, every win, every failure, every risk, you step into your power. Most people spend their lives trying to please others, making decisions based on fear or obligation, but the truth is, massive success doesn't come to people who play it safe. It comes to those who take responsibility for their path, even when it's messy, uncomfortable, or uncertain. Owning your choices means standing tall in your truth, even when people don't agree with you. It means showing up for yourself when no one else does. You cannot build a legacy on borrowed opinions. You cannot design a powerful life while living someone else's version of what's right. You must look in the mirror and ask yourself, is this what I want? Or is this what I've been told to want? People will question you. They'll try to redirect you, minimize you, talk you out of your dreams because they don't have the courage to chase their own. But when you've made a decision from a place of clarity and alignment, you owe it to yourself to follow through. Even if you fail, the decision was yours. That kind of ownership builds resilience. It builds a foundation no one can shake. We live in a world that's constantly trying to distract you, dilute your voice and shape your identity. But the moment you stop outsourcing your decisions, the game changes. Your life becomes intentional. You begin to filter opportunities, relationships, and risks through a lens of self-trust. You stop apologizing for your ambition. You stop explaining your path. You choose boldly. You move strategically. And no one, not even the voices in your own head, can take that away from you. Taking ownership also means being brutally honest with yourself. If you're not happy, change something. If you're not growing, push harder. If you're stuck, stop pointing fingers. Real power doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from mastering yourself. And that mastery begins when you stop making decisions based on fear or approval and start acting from a place of alignment. When you own your choices, success stops being a fantasy and starts becoming your reality. Motivation is fleeting. It's a spark, not a fuel. You can't rely on it to build something massive. Discipline, on the other hand, is your engine. It's what keeps you going long after the inspiration fades. It's the thing that gets you out of bed when you're tired, pushes you to finish when you're tempted to quit, and keeps you aligned with your goals when the distractions scream louder than your purpose. Discipline is what separates the talkers from the doers. Everyone wants success, but not everyone is willing to do what it takes every single day, especially on the days when it's hard, when no one is clapping, when nothing is guaranteed. Discipline is about commitment, not convenience. It's showing up when you don't feel like it. It's choosing long-term gains over short-term pleasures. Most people wait for the perfect moment to start, but those who understand discipline know that the perfect moment is a myth. You don't wait for the mood to strike. You train yourself to act regardless of the mood. That's how consistency is built. That's how habits are formed. That's how results compound over time. You can be the most talented person in the room, but if you lack discipline, your talent will burn out. Discipline doesn't care about your background, your past, or your potential. It only honors effort. It only responds to repetition. When you build discipline, you become Dangerous not because you never fall, but because you always get back up. You don't depend on hype, you depend on habits. The truth is, discipline is a form of self-respect. When you keep promises to yourself, you send a message to your mind, I can be trusted, I follow through. That kind of trust becomes unstoppable. It becomes the foundation for confidence, clarity, and focus. When you trust yourself to take action no matter what, you stop negotiating with your goals, you stop questioning your worth, you stop delaying your progress, you become your own motivator. There will be days when it's lonely. There will be moments when no one understands your grind. That's when discipline becomes your superpower. It keeps you rooted. It keeps you focused. It silences the noise and tunes you back into your vision. While others wait for inspiration, you move forward. While they procrastinate, you execute. Discipline isn't loud, it's consistent, and that's where real momentum lives. Doubt will always try to make the loudest noise in your mind. It creeps in quietly, then multiplies like wildfire, making you question everything. Your worth, your dreams, your timing. But doubt only has power if you give it attention. Silence it by acting. Not by overthinking, not by planning endlessly, not by waiting for certainty. Just act, move, do, because clarity comes from action, not contemplation. Every time you take a step forward in spite of fear, you quiet the voice of doubt. Every small win you create with bold movement becomes proof that you're capable. Most people wait until they feel confident to act, but that's backward. Confidence is built through action, not before it. No one starts off certain. No one begins knowing how everything will turn out. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that the successful ones move anyway. They take messy, imperfect, uncomfortable action while everyone else is waiting to feel ready. Doubt is clever. It will disguise itself as logic, caution, even humility. It will whisper, what if you fail? What if you're not enough? But you don't owe your doubt an answer. You owe yourself progress. Stop feeding the voice that tells you to shrink. Stop entertaining every fear that floats through your mind. Start amplifying your action instead. Start validating your potential through proof, not through permission. You don't need to silence doubt forever. You just need to get louder than it. Your goals need to become so loud, so clear, so urgent that they drown out the noise of hesitation. That happens when you start stacking action on top of action. When you make movement your default response to fear. Action kills fear faster than reassurance ever could. You can't build a powerful life with a fragile mindset, and doubt is fragile thinking. It thrives on hesitation, but action is the antidote. It's the proof your brain needs to believe in what's possible. You want to believe in yourself, earn it. Show up for yourself, take the step, speak the truth, build the thing, make the move. That's how self-belief is built. That's how doubt loses its grip. You don't wait for courage. You generate it through momentum. Growth and comfort do not coexist. If you want massive success, you have to be willing to leave behind what feels safe and familiar. Comfort zones are where dreams go to die, slowly, quietly, without a fight. The people you surround yourself with will either challenge you to rise or lull you into settling. It's not enough to have a dream. You need an environment that supports that dream, fuels it, and holds you accountable to it. If your circle isn't pushing you to evolve, then you're not in a circle. You're in a cage. Growth requires friction. It demands discomfort. It calls for you to question what you've always accepted and step into rooms where you're not the smartest, not the most experienced, and definitely not the most comfortable. That's how you stretch. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. The people who achieve extraordinary things are rarely the ones who stay in spaces that make them feel good. They seek out spaces that make them better. It's easy to keep people around who agree with everything you say. It's easy to hang out with those who don't challenge your limits, who applaud your mediocrity, who make it convenient to stay small. But easy doesn't build greatness. You need people in your life who are chasing something real, people who are not afraid to call you out, raise the bar, and remind you of who you said you wanted to become. That kind of energy is rare, but it's necessary. Your environment is either shaping you forward or dragging you backward. Audit it ruthlessly. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with certain people. Are you energized, inspired, focused, or drained, distracted, and discouraged? Energy doesn't lie. If you keep tolerating low vibe conversations, gossip, laziness, or excuses, you're not just accepting it. You're becoming it. Success loves speed, intensity, and alignment. Comfort slows all of that down. It delays your growth. It postpones your power. It keeps you locked in yesterday when your future is begging you to level up. Growth isn't glamorous. It's messy, uncomfortable, and sometimes lonely, but it's always worth it. The more you expose yourself to challenge, the more your capacity expands. You start to crave elevation. You begin to detach from validation. You shift from fitting in to standing out. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process. The faster you learn to fail, the faster you learn to win. Most people are so afraid of failing that they never even try. They wait for the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect version of themselves before taking a step. But success doesn't reward perfection. It rewards action. It rewards those who are willing to fall flat, get back up, and try again with more clarity, more resilience, and more hunger. Failing forward means using every mistake as a stepping stone. You don't let it define you, you let it refine you. Every failure carries a lesson, but only if you're bold enough to face it. If you keep running from discomfort, you'll keep running from growth. Real progress comes when you stop fearing mistakes and start embracing them as feedback. That's how champions are built, not by avoiding failure, but by absorbing it and becoming better because of it. Society glorifies success but hides the struggle. What you see is the highlight reel, the awards, the applause, the wins. What you don't see are the late nights, the breakdowns, the moments when everything felt like it was falling apart. Behind every story of success is a long list of failures that never made it to the spotlight. If you're failing, it means you're in the game. It means you're not sitting on sidelines waiting for life to happen. That already puts you ahead of the crowd. You cannot tiptoe your way to greatness. You have to be willing to mess up loudly, risk looking foolish, and keep going. Anyway, that kind of courage is rare, and that's why massive success is rare. Playing small doesn't protect you, it only delays what's possible. Fail forward. Be proud of the risks you take. Be proud of the times you fall and get back up. That's where the real transformation happens. Every failure gives you data. It sharpens your instincts. It humbles you and strengthens you at the same time. You become mentally tougher, emotionally sharper, and spiritually grounded. You stop fearing rejection because you've faced it already. You stop doubting yourself because you've proven that even at your lowest, you still rise. The more you fail forward, the more unstoppable you become. Not because everything goes right, but because nothing can break your momentum. Your energy is your most valuable currency. It shapes how you think, how you act, how you connect, and how you create. If your energy is drained, distracted, or pulled in 1,000 directions, you can't operate at your highest level. Success demands focus, and focus is impossible without intentional energy management. Most people protect their money more than they protect their energy, but money can be regained. Your energy, once wasted, doesn't come back the same way. It affects your mood, your clarity, your decision making, your drive. That's why you need to protect it like gold. This means being ruthless about who and what you give your time to. Not everything deserves a reaction. Not everyone deserves access. Your peace is not up for negotiation. The people you allow into your space either fuel your fire or drain your spirit. Pay attention. If conversations constantly feel heavy, if environments consistently leave you feeling small or stressed, those are signs. Don't ignore them in the name of loyalty or obligation. Boundaries aren't selfish, they're essential. Protecting your energy also means managing your thoughts. The inner dialogue you entertain all day is either empowering or sabotaging you. Every time you feed negativity, overthinking, or fear-based thoughts, you're giving your power away. But when you shift that internal voice to one of discipline, strength, and belief, everything outside of you starts to align. What you allow into your mind is just as important as what you allow into your life. You cannot build something extraordinary if your energy is scattered. Learn to recharge in silence. Learn to say no without guilt. Learn to step away without explanation. You don't owe anyone access to the version of you that's trying to evolve. Protect your mornings, your routines, your creative space. The world will constantly demand more of you, but you get to decide how much of yourself you're willing to give. Energy leaks are silent killers of potential. Drama, procrastination, gossip, toxic relationships, digital distractions, they chip away at your power until you're too exhausted to chase what matters. Success requires clarity, and clarity needs space. The more you protect your energy, the stronger your boundaries become. You start attracting opportunities that align with your vision and repelling the noise that doesn't. You become intentional, grounded, and laser-focused. You stop chasing validation and start choosing alignment.